Greetings and welcome, everybody, to the Beers and Bodyslams podcast. Sitting across from me is a man who always asks for 2 Chick-fil-A sauces. Good old JB.
They charge extra for that now.
I know.
Yeah.
Sitting to my left, he is the winner of the 2010 Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest, Mr. Fluffy.
In a past life, maybe. Oh, the past life, maybe.
For hot dogs.
Oh. And sitting across from me, he is the filler that's in the pothole to WrestleMania.
Jeez.
At least I didn't call you the pothole. You're the filler that fills the pothole on the road to WrestleMania.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Irish.
I thought you were going.
You're on your own with pronouncing the beer this week.
Hey, I'm trying. I'm just being. At least you're on the road to WrestleMania like the rest of us.
Yeah, I am the road to WrestleMania.
That's right. You and John Cena are
Man,
both.
yeah, I was going to say you bury me worse than John Cena.
That's right.
Dick. Anyway,
right.
we've got 2/3 of a really good show, and then some schmuck who likes to call people dirt and asphalt.
It's more like hot tar.
Jeez, Pete.
Hot tar. And rocks.
We've got a really good show. It's a kind of a bittersweet show. It's a good show. But what we're doing is we're basically listing out some of the superstars we think will be A, future endeavored, and B, will be asked to be future endeavored / released from their contracts after WrestleMania.
When the purge happens.
When the purge begins. Plus, we have a really, really good beer that we're going to talk about. That and so much more when we come right back.
Awesome! This is the Beers and Bodyslams podcast. I'm afraid I've got some bad news. With your host, Mr. Fluffy. Hello, ladies. Good old JB. Booty-O's! They make sure you ain't booty. And the Irish O'Leary. There's only one word to describe you, and I'm gonna spell it out for you. A-A-W-F-T. This is the only podcast bringing you craft beer and pro wrestling that really matters.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, E-Generation X proudly brings to you its WWF Tag Team Champion of the World, the Road Dogg Jesse James, the Badass Billy Gunn, the new. And that's the bottom line, the Stone Cold Sensei.
So why don't you go ahead and tell everybody what we're drinking, if you can.
We are drinking from Stone Brewing Company, Xocoveza Charred. It's the 2016 series. We had Xocoveza before. I forget when we exactly had it. I can look at my stats.
Yeah, it's been a while. It was good.
But this is the barrel-aged version of that beer. So it's full of cocoa and coffee and chilies and some good spice to it. This is really good.
Mm-hmm.
This is... I liked Xocoveza before, and this was about $3 more than the regular stuff, and now I see why. It's really, really
Well,
good.
the one we had, I don't think it was a bourbon.
No, it wasn't. It was just a straight version.
Yeah.
And this is the barrel-aged version of the same beer.
That's really good. A lot of depth of flavor to this one.
And the thing about it is, if you are a big fan, or you know someone who's a big fan of like Mexican chocolate,
That's exactly what you
this
get.
is what you get out of that. It tastes so good.
A little spicy, it kicked at the end.
And this was JB's Beer Week. You did really good this week.
Very,
Thank you.
very
Appreciate that.
Really good.
Appreciate
Sharing your
that.
wonderful
Golf
beer.
clapping you, bro.
Shared my beer club.
And it's a cool bottle. It's
Specials.
It's a nice printed on bottle. Stone always does a good job anyways.
Yeah.
But this one's
They're
really
pros.
cool. Yeah, they're really cool. So thank you so much to Stone.
Thank you very much.
So we said the intro. We're going to talk. We are on the road to WrestleMania.
Apparently, I am the road to
we can see it in the
WrestleMania.
distance. So what happens on the road is after you pass WrestleMania, we always hit a speed bump called the Purge.
Yeah.
Where people are basically told, oh, everybody who's going to be here after WrestleMania, raise your hand. Some people get told,
You
nope,
not so fast.
Not so fast. So
See me in my office.
we always have some releases, and we have some talent we think might actually ask for their release, which has happened recently too.
Yeah, if they're smart.
Yeah.
If they're smart, guys that can go elsewhere, guys and girls that can go elsewhere and do big things.
Right. And we want to make sure that you guys understand our hearts in this is We don't think this is necessarily a bad thing if you get released or after you're released. For some people on the roster, this could be the greatest thing that ever happened to them. Like a Drew Galloway.
Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes. That could go away and make a name for yourself somewhere else so that, the next time you come back to WWE, which everybody comes back.
And we're not wishing bad on them.
Correct.
No. And we're not wishing them to be released. It's
and I think
just a prediction based off how they're being used.
And I think most of the people we're going to talk about being released are people that we're not saying they're released because they're bad talent. I think the people that either we think are going to get released or are going to ask for release are people that feel they need to go out and be seasoned more.
And they should, probably, most respects.
So I'm going to start with my first one of somebody I think is going to get released. And I hate to say it. I think it's going to be Tyler Breeze.
No. Yeah, makes total sense.
I just feel like they don't know what to do with him. The Fast Police thing is fun for a while. And I could see him and Fandango both being released, but Tyler Breeze especially, I could see them. But again, he's a guy that if he got released tomorrow, he's going to get offers from TNA. Don't go there. He's going to get offers from Ring of Honor. He's going to get offers probably from New Japan to go there. And with his skill set, especially Japan, I think he'd do better in Japan than he would Ring of Honor. Because he could play that pretty boy up, and especially with the Japanese pretty boys, he could do really well over there.
Pretty boys in Japan.
Yeah, but what I mean? I think he could really do well over there, and it'd be sad. But again, he's a guy I could see leave for 3 or 4 years and then suddenly show back up again and be a huge star.
Well, you're looking at somebody that the company spent a lot of time and energy working on in the NXT roster, and then for the longest time he was the judge. If you can hold your own with Tyler Breeze, you were at the level where you could move up, and so he was kind of like the gatekeeper for a long time.
Oh yeah.
So Tyler could follow in the footsteps of Juice Robinson. He could follow in the footsteps of Air. He's got a new name now, and I can't
Air
think of
Jordan?
either. No. Dude.
Airbnb?
No, screw you.
Air Canada?
Anyway, so there's a couple of other wrestlers that have left the NXT roster and done really well. And
Austin Aries?
to your point about TNA no longer really exists. It's really Impact Wrestling.
Yeah.
And the way they've structured the company is you can go wrestle there and you can wrestle other places. They don't have a...
It's almost as if an indie. They were indie company.
Yeah, exactly. And they've, for the last month, is when they've been implementing more and more of their changes, and they've been doing really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, with him, I could see him as a fit for Ring of Honor.
I can see him Ring of Honor, yeah.
That would be for me because you don't have to be Braun Strowman size to get over in Ring of Honor. A lot of their talent is, average size. The Jay Lethals,
Right.
Dalton Castles, people like that are over there. That would be a good place for him to land on his feet, and it's more wrestling based,
right,
than anything.
But you also have guys like Dalton Castle. Dalton Castle is a very flamboyant champion, and he's a great talent.
I
would love to see him go against Prince Pretty.
Yeah, he's a great talent.
That would be
very intriguing.
The best. It would be a fun storyline. It'd be a lot of fun, and those two guys could really tear the house down.
Yeah.
Now I don't think he owns the name Tyler Breeze.
No. Tyler Breeze is another.
So
name.
That name, unfortunately, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
the way they've used him, that name doesn't mean anything.
But he could easily create like the whole. Oh, it's Tyler. He could recreate his using a new name. And again, even on the indie circuit, even if you get out of side of like the Ring of Honor and you get into the smaller companies,
sure,
just him showing up places, would be huge.
He could actually change his whole style and be like a little mini Shawn Michaels or Young Bucks type of.
It's mini
gimmick.
Shawn Michaels.
He's got a lot of talent, and like I said, that would be the best place for him to go, in my opinion. To have his skills best utilized over there.
I feel bad for him because I really thought by this point he'd be contending for like the Intercontinental or the U.S. title.
You at least.
Yeah. And he's just floundering, and I just,
I don't understand why.
All right, JB, who do you think is getting released?
I'm going to go to an obvious one, unfortunately. And what WWE does is a lot of times they sign people as veteran experience filler talent. I like to say, and I'm going to say Rhino. They bring in these older, more established guys and girls just to kind of fill out the roster, especially when they're doing a brand split type of thing, to just kind of balance things out. But at this point in his career, he doesn't really bring much to the roster other than enhancement talent.
Yeah.
I could kind of see him just kind of doing, indie dates here and there, but they won't have a use for him after WrestleMania. They're barely using now him and Heath Slater as a tag team.
Yeah.
Heath Slater's better on his own.
One-man band.
Rhino doesn't really enhance him in any way, so I don't really see them keeping him around past Mania.
True, I agree.
Yeah, I never understood why they brought Rhino up to begin with. Like, what he was doing in NXT was actually not bad when he was sort of showing up once in a while, and he was sort of a measuring stick for some of the bigger guys down there. And I didn't mind that role for him. Like, I didn't need him on the main roster.
Right.
I liked him down there.
He didn't really need to be in NXT just based on what it's all supposedly all about. You don't need a guy that's been around 20 plus years on NXT. I mean, I could. That was kind of a way to bring him back, just to kind of reintroduce him to some people that may not have remembered him. But you don't keep a guy like that on NXT when you have someone else that deserves that spot. So I can see why they brought him up.
I agree.
All right. Irish.
Oh God, the list is
Jericho's getting
long.
released? Wait a minute, what?
No, he doesn't have a contract with WWE.
Oh, okay. Whew, scared me for a second.
I believe that they're probably going to wind up letting the Ascension go.
Yep, I can see that.
And again, this is another tag team that they put together at NXT. Had a hell of a run at NXT.
Most dominant
Just
tag
awesome.
team in NXT history.
Yeah, just awesome. And then they bring them up to the main roster and they job them out. And makes no sense. And they've just been a laughing stock ever since. And that's one of those situations where I literally look JBL right in the face and say, I think this has probably got the stink of you all over it. Because he made pretty sure that, when he did that run-in on them a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And
Oh, the
buried them.
Legends? Yeah.
Buried them pretty hard.
On Raw that time.
That was a signal. And there's just no reason for it. Yeah, I guess I think it was Connor had the one drug pop.
Well,
so did
looks
Roman
like he ate
Reigns.
a whole turkey.
Yeah, but so did Roman Reigns. Not the whole turkey part, but Roman Reigns had a drug pop too. And there's no reason why those guys. What? Well, I know
he ain't no Roman Reigns.
I know he's not Roman Reigns, but those two guys could legitimately. If Aleister Black is getting over in NXT, could you imagine a full on scary ass Ascension bringing Aleister Black in to be their singles guy?
Well, not even that. You've already got a guy you could team up with. We always talk about Bray Wyatt needs a group. Why couldn't you put the Ascension with Bray Wyatt?
I think it's a great idea.
They always talk about the Wasteland, so why couldn't Bray Wyatt come out and go, I've been to the Wasteland. Sister Abigail and I rule the Wasteland, and you guys have lost your ways, and get rid of some of the Road Warrior-esque stuff there.
That's why they never got over.
Yeah, the outfits, but let Bray take them in and sort of remold them into a new Wyatt family, and not even call them the Wyatt family. Just have them with him, and just they're his new little toys.
Didn't they try and pair them with
down with
somebody
that.
for a moment?
Well, they had him with Breezango for a while. They've been doing
No. I mean, they were with I want to say a singles wrestler for a hot minute.
Oh, I don't remember.
They came out with them before. I can't remember.
I don't remember.
I had to look that up. But
Yeah, but there's we talk about Bray needs a group.
Yeah, but I think that they're too far gone.
Oh, I agree. No, I agree. By now they're too far gone.
Yeah.
They'd have to disappear from TV for like 2 months
And lose that turkey.
and lose that turkey
Yeah.
and be completely repackaged to come back out again. So, all right. My next person I think's going to ask for their release. Somebody who, and it's a woman who is really sort of fallen away and squandered away. It's Becky Lynch.
Damn it.
yeah,
No, I know we were all talking about her, but I agree with you. It's she. Her problem is not talent; it's the talent around her. She's gotten lost in the shuffle between the Baileys and the Sashas and the Charlottes and the Asukas and the Alexa Blisses. She sort of hasn't stood out enough, in my opinion, to make a mark.
I agree.
this is a sore subject for Irish. Here,
It
so
is
I'll
because
let
she's
him-
my girl.
Yeah, and I love her. And
Becky.
it's nothing against her. I just
I agree with you. She doesn't have a way to shine. And the problem is not Becky. It's not even the talent that's around her. It literally goes back to the writing.
Yeah.
If you don't have compelling storylines for every person on your roster, then why the F are they on your roster?
Yeah.
Because we have these, for months we've been having these 25 women matches, every week. It's the entire roster.
6 women tag.
It's just ridiculous. You can't do that. We're 3 weeks from WrestleMania, and they're just now starting to push Carmella as a viable threat because she's got the money in the bank.
Yeah.
So Becky's been out there, and the minute that they brought Charlotte over from Raw, that was like, oh crap. So
Yeah.
Becky's in trouble. Naomi's in trouble.
Yeah.
Because they're just not writing compelling storylines for everybody.
Yeah, but
I don't think Naomi's going
Naomi's
anywhere.
a different story though. Naomi's been there for a while. Naomi and Natty have got the same spot. They're not going anywhere because they're comfortable. They know what they're doing. Becky, I still feel if you look in her eyes, has that drive and wants to be that.
I don't think she has it. To be honest with you, I read a story that she had to be talked into coming back from filming the movie. Like she literally almost didn't come back. So like she's frustrated. I'm sure they don't.
But frustration and not want to do it are two different things.
But when you lose your passion for something, you shouldn't do it. And I'm not to say she didn't lose her passion for the business itself, but the way that she's being used, it's hard to go to work when you don't enjoy it, regardless of what you're doing. And she probably was at that point where, why am I doing this?
Right. And then you look at what happened with Nia Jax. Nia Jax stepped away.
Yeah.
She comes back. Oh, now she's like in the hunt.
Exactly.
Yeah, she's done better.
And then Becky's not getting that. But everybody acknowledges the fact that she's one of the most over female wrestlers. Everybody loves her.
They stripped her from all of her interviews, though. If you notice, she doesn't really say anything.
Yeah, and she's worked on her dialect because she's she's got too much of an accent. She needs to find some other places she can light and be amazing.
She'd be great in Ring of Honor. She'd be great in Impact. There's a couple of places she could really.
I think for her, Impact would be better. Because
I agree.
I agree with that.
They have a more established female.
Yeah, the Knockouts
roster.
division is very good over there.
I agree.
exactly.
Totally agree.
And she could walk in and dominate immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
I'd be down with
JB,
that.
who do you think is going to ask for the release?
I don't necessarily say he's going to ask for his release, but I think he will not re-up with the company when his contract runs out. I think Daniel Bryan's out of here.
Yep.
The fact that they won't let him wrestle is going to be the determining factor. I think his contract runs out in September from everything that I've read. I do not see him re-signing unless they agree to let him wrestle on at least a part-time basis.
Right.
It'll be unfortunate to lose probably their most popular superstar on the roster, even as a GM.
Yeah.
I just don't see him sticking around and wasting, if he's been cleared by several doctors, as he said, I don't see him sticking around knowing that he's not able to wrestle.
Right.
And waste, the next 3 to 4 years of his prime.
Right.
Being a GM.
Totally agree with that. And it's sad too. Again, it goes back to the writing. That the most over wrestler on your roster is your.
I think they're legitimately concerned of his health.
Sure, they are.
Because you had Edge, you had Stone Cold, you had a lot of serious neck injuries. You don't want a situation where he takes a bad bump like Paige and almost gets paralyzed.
Well, that's what they don't want.
And that's a scary thought, to have that on your conscience. So I can understand from their perspective them not even wanting to go through that.
But then flipping it around, I understand Daniel's passion is high, but he just had a baby girl. At what point do you stop and go?
And that's the thing.
At what point do you stop and go, wait a minute?
That's where Bree has to step in, though, and be like, listen,
and I
it
think
ain't just about you anymore.
And I do think they're going to offer him another contract. He's over enough
definitely.
where they're going to. It's not like they're going to go to him when his contract's up and go, it's been nice.
You don't
they're
want to
gonna
let somebody
make
like that
they're
walk
going to
away.
make him an offer
Yeah.
to stick around.
I don't think he'll say.
And I think it'll be an offer out of two things. I think number one, it'll be an offer because they know he's over and they like him. And number two, we've talked about before on this show, and I know I've said it is, I think their biggest fear is, let's say he does go to Ring of Honor and something happens in Ring of Honor and he's paralyzed, partly injured. It's not going to be Ring of Honor's Daniel Bryan. It's going to be former WWE superstar Daniel Bryan paralyzed.
Yeah.
And I really think that, especially in this age of social media and everything else, they're more conscious of that stuff. Whereas they're terrified of if he does go somewhere else and thing happens, they're going to take the flack.
Sure. And they need to sit down when it's time to renew the contract and have all the usual suspects there, and have his wife and daughter there, and have Triple H there.
Yeah.
And just say, look, part of this is a contract signing. The other part of it is an intervention. You need to seriously stop and think about this. You know, what happened to you sucks. Sucks for all of us. But
you're going to make more money here than you can anywhere else.
Guaranteed.
And have security, you know, for the rest of your life.
And you're not killing yourself.
Correct. And you can still be...
And you don't have to travel every day.
And you can still have a major impact on the business.
And you don't have to travel.
And you don't have to worry about never walking again.
You got one show a week to show up for.
Right. You know, what they should do is they won't do it because they like where they live. They should move him and make him a trainer.
I wouldn't be surprised that wasn't offered him at one point and he said no, but he likes where he lives up in...
whatever.
I think they're in Phoenix now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's...
It's a dry
Scottsdale or something.
Yeah, but I'm saying is I wouldn't be surprised if that offer wasn't made to him at one point. He said, hey, move to Orlando. Be the next... Help us make the next generation.
Right.
And because he likes where he is, he wouldn't do it. So,
well, do it 2 days a week. Fly in, fly out.
Yeah.
Ask for their release.
Yeah. Who do you think's going to ask for their release?
I want to do a twofer because these guys go together.
Okay.
Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
Really?
I can see. We discussed this.
Oh, I know.
And there was rumors that this was when they got kicked off the tour, the seeds were kind of sown in motion for that.
Yeah, I think these are two guys that know their worth. That know they've been up and down the road around the world. They've been at every major promotion. They brought the house down at every major promotion, and they're treated like crap. That they've been John Cena'd enough. They've been Vince McMahon'd enough. They've been kept down enough. They've been...
Especially Sammy.
Especially Sammy. Jesus.
If anybody has a gripe, it's Sammy.
Oh, my God. After why it breaks my heart to go back, and I can't watch old NXT, watch old Sami Zayn matches just to see how much he cared about that and what he brought to that company. And then just to see how he's treated on TV. Now, granted, for all of you people who are in the business listening to the show, probably one or two of you out there who are like, well, you don't understand. You're not in there. You're right. I don't understand, but I don't live in a bubble either. And the thing is they're not being used on TV. And that's all I've got the basis off of. So if they're super happy, that's great. They don't look super happy and they don't tweet super happy.
Yeah.
So unless they're kayfabing all their lives, I've got to assume that they could be happier elsewhere.
I mean, it's when you're a competitor and when you're in a business like that, it's highly competitive, on stage, backstage, whatever. And you get a little taste of being on, the guy, and that's taken away from you basically to where you're not the guy. And in Sammy's case, like I say, he carried the brand, the NXT brand.
Right.
He was NXT.
And to say that you're good enough to where we're going to basically promote you to our main roster, and then we don't see you on the level with everybody that you're on the show with.
Right.
So for my ego, you know what I mean? And I don't consider myself to be an egomaniac, but like I'd be like, well, what's going on? I was good enough over there. Why am I not good enough here?
Right.
And I mean, just as humans, they have to be like, well, what are we doing wrong?
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's weird.
Help me understand how I could be over here.
Yeah.
And you bring me up, and I'm over with the crowd. He was over with the crowd.
Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's not being used.
Well, the thing is, especially with Sammy, like KO is over on his own, but Sammy does have a problem because I feel like the only time Sammy is over is when he's directly connected to Kevin, whether he's wrestling against Kevin or now he's connected to Kevin as his partner. I really feel like that's the only time they use him effectively. Beyond that,
but that's their fault.
I agree with you. But I'm saying I feel like they squander him because
sure, they got the same problem with Cesaro.
Yeah.
Cesaro, I mean, nothing to get Sheamus. Sheamus is
he's had his success.
He's had his day, and plus he's hurt, so he's on a clock at this point. But Cesaro had the same problem.
Yeah,
Cesaro couldn't. I mean, Cesaro is over as over can get, but they just don't know what to do with him
because they feel he's boring.
Yeah,
that's a quote from Vince McMahon.
Here's a crazy ass idea.
Boring.
Let him wrestle. Let him do what he wants to do. Let him do what he's put on this planet to do, and let him shine. Daniel Bryan proved that you can bank on that. But there's just some crazy ass.
The They should literally put the E before the W in the name of the company.
Correct.
Because now the way that they book and the way that they write is all about the entertainment portion first.
Right.
You have to be able to talk. You have to be able to be entertaining before you have to be able to wrestle now.
Sure.
So guys like Cesaro who can go in the ring, but Vince McMahon are considered boring, you're not going to get over. Sami Zayn,
Yeah, but Shinsuke can't speak a promo, but he's definitely interesting.
Right.
But right now, some argue he's just all entrants that don't know. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like the casual fan that doesn't know his history.
Right.
And he's had a ton of matches on SmackDown, to be honest with you.
Right.
People just say he's all entrants right now.
Yeah.
So, that's entertainment. He draws a reaction. Sammy, he doesn't. Now he's getting a little edge to him, which I like the way they're going with him. And like I said, I like to see him have a heel run. Just kind of like I'm standing up for myself finally.
Right.
You know what I mean? That type of heel run.
Right.
Could you keep Sammy heel and turn Kevin face?
Yeah, absolutely.
What
You
would
think
it
it's
matter?
possible?
Yeah, but what would it matter at this point? The thing is, when you were watching Sami Zayn in NXT, the promos, that's the two-edged sword of NXT. Because you buy into the fact that there's not a lot of vignettes. There's backstage interviews.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of crazy ass vignettes. There's not a lot of talking because they really have an hour to fill.
Exactly.
And they fill it.
Yeah.
And you're watching creme de la creme
Yeah.
of wrestling. And then they get up to the main roster and they're not worried about wrestling anymore.
No, they're more worried about
It's the
promo.
E.
But that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Yeah, that's the focus is the entertainment.
Right. So there's a disconnect there.
Yeah.
And so that's why, your casual fans, yeah, you're right. You're going to keep having those casual fans, but that's why a lot of people who are wrestling fans, and I consider myself one, I'm not watching. I literally, we've all had this discussion. It's hard to get through those 5 hours sometimes. Man, it's easy to watch NXT.
Yeah.
It's easy to watch Ring of Honor. It's easy to watch New Japan because it's fascinating.
Yeah.
But any business you're always looking to bring new people to your product.
Right.
So like a Starbucks, you're going to have your core supporters. You have the people that are going to be at Starbucks 3-4 days a week.
Right.
You know what I mean? Your goal as a business, how can I grow my business?
Right.
So you're looking at how can I reach someone that doesn't come here every day?
Right.
How can I get them in the door?
Right. Starbucks was always coffee, then it's coffee and tea.
Exactly.
Then it's coffee
So
and tea and all this
That's
other crap.
WWE's situation now where they're like, okay, I got my, 3 to 4 million viewers that are going to watch every week. How do I get the extra 500,000 to 1 million people to tune in? That's why they're focusing on the entertainment because somebody may not be a wrestling fan, but they sure as hell love The Rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the way that, in my opinion, that's the way they're approaching business now.
Yeah.
Is they're looking to draw in the casual fan that may or may not like wrestling, but they're damn sure entertained by a Ronda Rousey now.
Right.
A crossover from another sport, UFC fan or something like that. And unfortunately, a lot of pure wrestlers are going to be casualties of the new wave of the way the company's growing. It's just my opinion. That's the way they're going.
Do you think this is status quo when Vince steps out and it's all Triple H?
No.
It's still going to be a corporate entity because they're publicly traded now. And
Right.
this is where the change occurred is when they went public because now they're looking at different,
They have different masters.
they have different people to answer to.
But I think Vince handles it differently than Triple H would.
Well, he handles the talent differently.
yeah.
Yeah, it was guys that like a Sami Zayn that wouldn't get a chance with Vince would get an opportunity under
Yeah.
Triple H
Right.
to be the guy. Yeah.
And there'd probably be these less last minute stupid decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, and we talked about who do you think's ready to come up though? And because obviously releasing all these people, there's gonna be released. They always bring people up from
I think
NXT.
you're gonna see a lot more indie guys signing and girls.
Well, come like on NXT right now. Like I could see the people I think right now that are ready to come up. I think 3 would be Aleister Black is one. I think he's ready, and I don't think they're going to use him effectively in NXT. I think they're saving him to bring him up.
Right.
And the Authors of Pain.
Yeah.
As much as I love Sanity, the Authors of Pain have gotten better and better and better, and their main roster built.
Well, first of all, they're going to benefit from lack of tag teams.
Yep.
So that'll be working in their favor. Yeah, I mean, I agree with those three, but I think you're going to see them bringing in more, like I said, indie guys.
Yeah.
Guys in other promotions, girls in other promotions.
The problem is there's not that many good indie guys out there anymore.
There may not be, but I mean, like, you got to figure there's people who've been in NXT for 3-4 years now that haven't been called up.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to bring in a big name, and most of the big names either will not come or they've already been signed.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking like Bucks, or you're talking Kenny Omega, or you're talking.
Well, I mean, I'm not signing them like direct to the main roster. I mean, bringing them to NXT and then going that route, like a EC3 that just came over,
right.
or somebody like that. Bobby Lashley, who I told you is going to be there soon. People like
but he's
that.
going right in the main roster.
That's what I'm saying.
He's going right.
But they're going to bring people more from outside than you'll see brought up from NXT.
Think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the big vacuum we're going to have this year is the rumor that Lesnar's not going to re-sign and he's going to be gone.
Well, I heard that may not be the case now.
And now I'm hearing the other way that he may re-sign.
Really?
Yeah, there's a rumor he may.
Are you going to literally turn down $3 million a year to work like 20 dates?
Because also there may be a negotiation going on with Vince where he gets to work UFC.
He can't go over he can't fight John Jones because his license didn't get renewed. They revoked his license in UFC, and that was the fight that they were trying to make.
Yeah.
So with him being out of the picture, unless he can't fight Conor McGregor because he'd kill him. There's no fight. There's no fight over there for him right now in UFC.
The problem with Lesnar is if he wants to stay with the company, that's great. He's got to drop that belt.
He
can't be champion.
That belt's got to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because I don't even remember what it looks like. Is it red or is it black?
It's red.
Well, they need to redo it first of all, but that's another story for
that
the
is true.
podcast.
Well, that's the thing. If you're going to do that belt, then it needs to be done differently, where it's not promoted as one of the heavyweight belts, almost like it's a specialty belt. Like it only comes out for.
It's the Brock Lesnar just because he's here belt.
Yeah, like it is weirdly because if at WrestleMania, if Roman Reigns wins the belt, we're going to see that belt every week.
Yeah, you'll get your wish.
Maybe not.
I know, right?
But beyond that,
whatever happened to seeing your champion like once every couple of weeks? He might cut a promo, but you really only see him wrestle like once every couple of weeks, and then
right now they're kind of playing off his storyline, but even before that, he was.
They need to start treating this stuff like Flair and Dusty Rhodes, man, because this is bullshit.
Yeah, it's either one or the other because we see AJ every week. AJ's on the show every week.
But he doesn't necessarily wrestle every week.
No. But at least we see the champion every week. Yeah. We see The Miz every week. Now we'll see Orton every week.
Back to your list.
But
moving forward.
Yeah. We went off the rails.
That's what we always do. Okay, well,
come on back.
Well, who else do you think is going to be released, or who do you think is going to be released? Those are my couple. No, I know
that's it.
That's it.
That's all you got.
That's all I got.
Jeez. Well, I'll sit back and relax,
yeah,
Fluff.
No, right?
No, go ahead.
Take the show off, Fluff.
Go ahead.
Mike Kanellis, you're up next, sir.
Mike and his wife.
Oh,
what the hell happened to that?
She's pregnant.
I forgot they were
even
on the
baby
roster.
yet?
She's about to do any day now.
She got to pop soon, man.
I forgot about him.
She's about to pop any day, but I can see that him being released, and I can actually see him being brought back later. But for the foreseeable future, I can see him being released until her kid's like a couple 3 years old. But I watched him in Ring of Honor with the Kingdom over there with Adam Cole and the crew, and he was good talent, man. He was he would have been a good Intercontinental U.S. champion had he been booked properly.
He had a bad gimmick to start with.
The gimmick was when I first saw that, I was like, "What in the hell is going on?"
Did they just bring them over as a favor to her to get him in rehab?
No, I mean, he was going through that before.
Oh, okay.
But when she came back, I'm sure it was a package deal. Like I'm not coming back without him.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But I see him being released, but possibly brought back down the road later on.
I completely forgot he was even on the roster anymore.
Well, he's been
totally forgot he was even on the roster.
He's been gone because she's been out. So
yeah,
that makes sense.
Well, she's about to do any day now.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. I forgot. No, I'm being legit. I completely forgot he was even on the roster.
What better candidate to be released?
Who better than Canyon?
Who better than
Well, you got
Canyon?
Irish since it's a 2-man show going forward here.
Hey, I can comment.
I got a couple more.
I think if he doesn't ask for his release, I think they'll release Tyler Breeze. Not Tyler Breeze. Ty Dillinger.
Ty Dillinger.
Ty Dillinger. Yeah. They got nothing for him.
Nope.
And the crappy thing is he came in and made an impact right off the bat.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, ooh, no, we can't have that. No. Nope.
Yeah.
And they pulled him right
know
off
your
the TV.
role and get off the air.
Get in the back of the bus because you were just not.
Yeah.
Just not.
I don't understand that either. He could be so over. If they
He has
used
that
him.
scrappy little underdog. Like he using the Daniel Bryan.
But he has a great
mold.
interest, a good little
Oh, yeah.
gimmick. Like I don't know why they don't.
What's I'm saying?
He could sell merch off of that.
That's what I'm saying. He's the Daniel Bryan mold. He's got a great entrance. He's open with the crowd. He's got great crowd interaction. He's smaller, so you build up the underdog idea in him that he can overcome. I mean, he could be huge. Imagine him taking on like a Bobby Roode for the U.S. title, right?
Yeah.
Where you're like, there's no way he's going to beat Bobby Roode, but you believe in him, and you're like, holy crap, he's going to beat him. And if he won, it'd be amazing.
He had a great feud with Eric Young in the NXT.
Yeah, I
Back
agree.
with Sanity.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
You have anybody else?
No, I'm gonna let you guys go.
Jeez, well, Pete, go ahead.
I'm letting you. I'm just having fun now.
I think Apollo Crews will be gone.
Apollo Crews.
He's finally over.
I don't see
Titus World. What?
I don't see them.
over.
I don't see them anything other than an enhancement talent.
Nope.
No, I agree.
Correct.
So like if you I guess you need enhancement talent to a degree, but I just don't see them.
Well, bringing in Bobby
Titus
Lashley.
Titus will be there. Well, now that could
Bringing
be a
in
wild card.
It could either be a wild card or it's the death knell for Apollo Crews.
Yeah.
Because they're the same guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
pretty
Lashley
much.
could drop in with Titus tomorrow and be perfectly fine.
It's the bald dudes, the bald muscle head.
Yeah.
They should just form a faction.
They really
could be
should.
the 2018 version of the Baldies.
The Baldies. Oh my god, he could do something.
Threw that out.
Sexual chocolate.
No, the Baldies from ECW.
Yeah,
go look it up. Well, then I'll see your Apollo Crews and I'll raise you a. Oh crap! What's her name? Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke's gone.
Yeah,
because they got nothing for her either.
Yeah, she's not even in the ring anymore.
She needs to be a knockout.
She's hot. Though.
She is hot. She needs to be a knockout.
Yeah, she'd be good in Impact.
That's a waste. A powerlifting champion.
And she was good in the ring too.
Yeah, well,
she was coming into her own, but
they moved her up too early.
When she went face on Charlotte, I thought they were going to build off of that. And then they just left it alone. They never did anything with it.
She's a victim of the brand split when they went, shit, we need women. Shit, we need women.
Right.
And they pulled her up too early.
I agree.
She is a class example of someone they should have not. They left her in NXT for a little bit longer, built her up more, not character wise, but ring wise. And when she got there, she just kind of floundered.
Because she has the build.
Oh yeah,
like she's got a damn power lifter.
Oh,
yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, so I mean, she could have been a dominant type of female wrestler had they used her right. I don't think she had the. First of all, they should have kept her with Emma. They made a good little group together in NXT. I think that's where they messed up because she's not really the greatest talker. So I think that's where she kind of fell flat. But she has a lot of potential that they never brought out of her.
But you're right. She has the build. She'd been the kind of person where you could have put her up against a Nia.
Yeah,
and she could have been the first person to ever pick Nia up and body slam Nia.
Right.
Sort of that old, Hulk Hogan onto the giant.
Exactly.
That would have been great.
Where she would have literally picked up Nia and thrown Nia, and Nia would have been like, "What the hell just happened?"
Right.
Yeah.
Who gets featured in that? I mean, who asked for their release? Who's next?
Lana.
Lana?
Yeah.
asked
for her release?
You think she's going to ask for her
What
release?
about Rusev?
I think it's going to be dependent on how they capitalize off this Rusev Day thing. She publicly tweeted her displeasure a lot recently, and I don't think it's kayfabe. Like you
think it's legit?
She
she wants to be a wrestler and she can't be.
She wants to be utilized.
She's in the mixed match challenge with Rusev. That's the only time she's in the ring anymore.
And it's even frustrating. Even up until this point, she was frustrated that Rusev wasn't even being really used until this Rusev Day caught on.
Right.
So they both were frustrated. He's actually came out recently and said he was actually happy with the way it's going now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's over as
selling-
hell.
They're selling merchandise.
Because he was just he was like when they first put it together, he just was like he kind of rolled his eyes and was like, whatever, we'll make the best out of it. And then they never expected it to catch on the way it did.
It's him and Aiden. That's the reason it works.
And they were like, wow, this is really catching on type of deal. But she's frustrated, and she posts Instagram videos all the time talking like her, not with an accent or anything. And it's just like, she by her words, she trains hard, she works hard on her craft, and she's trying to be a better wrestler. She's at the Performance Center all the time. And whether she's good or not, whether you have a negative opinion of her or not, if you feel like you're putting in the work and you're not being rewarded for something, you're going to have feelings about it.
Yeah.
And I think she's at that point now where, I'm showing you that I'm willing to put the work in. When is my work going to pay off, and what do I got to do to get another chance at this thing? And I just think that she's at that point now where Lana could go be a model and make more money than she could ever make in WWE.
Her situation would be, though, is
Leaving her husband.
exactly because he ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
So it's that question of,
But that's why I say, depending on how they capitalize off this Rusev Day thing, will depend on what goes on with that. But they almost didn't make it anyway when that wedding detail got released. So they've had heat since then, or she has had heat.
Yeah.
You got one more Irish?
Got past it.
Yeah, I did, and it totally went out of my head.
Uh-oh.
We can go down the list. I think
I would have said Aiden English until about a month ago.
I would have too.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have so said Aiden English about a month ago. I think honestly, in my heart of hearts, not because I want to see them gone from WWE, but because I think that they would be better utilized, is the club.
Yeah.
I would go as far to say the club and Finn need to ask for their release.
And go back to New Japan.
Go anywhere other than WWE because they're not being utilized well. Finn Balor is a god amongst wrestlers.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that lightly. I mean, a lot of people think he's just an entrance, but he doesn't even have that anymore. He hasn't wrestled as the Demon.
No.
And that was a
Well,
big...
it's actually a good thing.
In a way it is, yeah. But in another way, it's
if
like...
they're going to bring it back, it's a good thing.
Yeah. In another way, it's like, yeah, but that was fun.
Yeah.
And...
Well, they haven't given a feud willing build up enough.
Well, they botched the Bray
against-
Wyatt feud totally. with
Correct.
that. Yeah.
Correct. He got injured through no fault of his own.
Yeah.
He had a lot of momentum, and like it's like they're scared to give it to him again. And this whole run with the club and him is great, finally, but I think it's a year, 2 years too late. And those guys are so much better as a unit. They should ask for their release. They should go back to New Japan, and they should fix the problems that the club is having. That would be the storyline.
Yeah.
If you're not paying attention, there's all sorts of weird, crazy stuff with the club and
The Bullet Club, yeah.
Cody and the Elite, and now Okada and Omega are back together as the Golden Lovers, and so questions is even Kenny in the Bullet Club anymore, and it's all sorts of weirdness. They should go back over and say, we
started this thing.
We have heard that you're having some issue, boys, so we're going to come back and we're going to fix a few things, and kick out the Bucks and kick out Omega, kick out Cody, kick out Hangman, and kick all the Elite guys out.
Yeah.
And they go back and be the Bullet Club and just beat the bejesus out of everybody, like they should.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
No, I agree with you, and I do agree they're not being used properly. They, as a group, the three of them, should be a force.
True.
It should be, and they should be recruiting others in the group. Like that's where you put the people that are disfranchised. Like you put the Tyler Breezes or the Ty Dillingers or the guys that or the Ascensions, the guys that are sort of the outsiders, and that's they
won't let them do it. They should do that.
Yeah.
They should totally
like
do
you
that.
get all these guys that we've talked about all being released, and you put them all with the club, and Finn is their mouthpiece to say, these are all the people that you overlook every night.
Yeah.
And we're going to show you sort of rebuild. I don't want to say you want to recreate the NWO, but the NWO kind of went the other way, as in they were the top and wanted to show it.
They don't need to. They got the model with the Bullet Club.
Yeah, exactly. You build it that way. You build that group up. And again, we talked about, especially now that you're going to have one pay-per-view for both shows, you could have a group that's spread amongst both shows and sort of spreads and beats that motion and that movement. We always talk about one of the greatest moments in wrestling was the 90s when we had, the Attitude Era in DX and we had the NWO in WCW. it was all factions. It was all power.
Right.
It was all these groups just trying to destroy themselves. It was amazing. So
Right.
But yeah, no, that's some good lists. Again, we don't want to say we hope for these people to release. We don't want these people to suffer, but some people would be better off elsewhere.
In many ways, it would be a blessing.
Yeah. I would like to thank Stone for your Xocoveza. Charred. Did I mess it up?
Close enough.
It's okay.
Close enough for Jazz.
It's okay. I've been drinking all afternoon. Leave me alone.
Yep. Hey, guys, we want to invite you to go over to facebook.com/Beers and Body Slams podcast. You can check out all of our Facebook stuff over there. So we've got some live stuff. We've got some videos. We've got some podcasts. And we want to also highly encourage you to come visit us at our website, which is beersandbodyslams.com. You can find out all of our show archives, our links to our other social networks. We post questions over there. We have promos of the week for some shows, and we have whole matches of the week for other shows. We have a lot of really cool stuff over there. Come check that out. And make sure that you click on our sponsors. They take great care of us, and they'll take great care of you.
Download the Untapped app. You can search and rate thousands of great craft beers. You can follow us and see what we're drinking. You can follow me as I punt, pass, and kick my liver at Good OLJB.
You can follow me as I future endeavor both my kidneys at Mr. Fluffy.
And you can follow me as I play 30 my liver at the Irish O'Leary.
Make sure you tune in Thursday. We're going to talk about the headlines of the week. We'll talk about what happened on Raw, SmackDown, and all the news from wrestling and the WWE that week. And then make sure you tune in next Monday. We'll have another exciting topic show. We'll talk about something, but we always have fun. We'll figure it out as we go. We let the headlines
Sure, it'll be
tell us.
WrestleMania themed.
I'm sure it will be.
closer.
I'm sure it will be. As always, make sure you get your pint glasses full and your body slam stiff.
You've been listening to the Beers and Body Slams podcast. Find us online at beersandbodyslams.com and on Facebook at facebook.com/Beers and Body Slams podcast. Until next time.
Have a nice day.